All right, and welcome back to another episode of Perspective and Collecting. I am very happy to have on the show today James Arizona, who I
Okay.
met via TikTok a few months ago. It's been a few
Yep.
months.
Mhm.
But James, can you go ahead and for those who don't know who you are, can you give a little brief intro, who you are, what you're up to?
Okay. So, hey everybody, I'm James Arizona. I started doing TikToks during the pandemic, just a way to kind of like deal with mental health and stuff. Um, I started doing actually resin art with Pokemon, and then it's just started doing like a bunch of giveaways and connecting with people. Then it just kind of grew from that into merch and t-shirt designs, and just we have a Discord, and um, I don't know, just trying to be like a positive person in the community. So that's pretty much but yeah, no, the TikTok community is really awesome, and I made so many awesome friends, and it's really cool. It's mind blowing.
Yeah, it really is. And I might want to circle back to your art and your resin art and whatnot
Hmm.
in a bit. But let's take it back. Let's go
Okay.
back. How did you first get into the hobby?
Okay, so I was maybe 8 or 9 years old, I want to say, um, and I seen the anime first, and then I found out that they had cards. And when I found out that they had cards, I was like, "Oh my god, this is awesome!" And everyone was talking about a Charizard, right? And I didn't know really anything getting into it as a kid that you have to buy certain packs or whatever. So I opened up so many fossil packs, man, trying to find a Charizard when I was a kid. But yeah, no, but yeah, I was 8 or 9 years old, had a binder, had everything, um, and I just started collecting when I was a kid. I still had my childhood cards up until I think a few years ago.
Mm.
I got a call from our storage locker, says it got broken into and
Oh,
everything was
no.
taken out. I was so devastated, but I did replace my fossil set. I guess I bought a fossil set, so but yeah, no, since I was a kid, and then um, I kind of like weaned off into my teenage years because it's kind
Mhm.
of like frowned upon, like, oh, you like Pokemon, whatever, growing up. But now it's like it's cool again, and everyone's like, so my kids love it. I got three kids. I got three girls. I got a 8, 6, and a 2-year old,
Mm.
and they all love Pokemon. So I got back into it um, a little bit before the pandemic. I got them a couple of packs, and then I was like, I think I could do something with some of these non-hollows, and I started putting them in resin, and then my daughter was like, "You should make a video and put it on TikTok." And I was like, "All right." So my daughter kind of got me into it, and she was like 6 at the time, so it was
Oh my
pretty
gosh,
cool,
that's funny.
right?
And so let's get into your TikTok. So you put up that video. What happens after you put up that first video?
The first video, when I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know about editing or anything on the TikTok app. So I maybe gained, I want to say, about 100 followers within like a month or something. I think I started in August. Around October, I think I hit maybe like 2,000 followers or something. I want to say like my oldest, or one of my first followers, I want to say, is Pokemon trainer Eric. He was like my one of my first followers. Um, and it was pretty cool. Then in Christmas time, I think I hit almost like 4K, and I want to say now I'm almost at 25. I mean, I'm not up there, but I
Mm.
mean, it's been a long journey. It's been fun,
Yeah. Well, I mean, even 25, like if we like think about it, like that's 25,000 people who
right?
want to see what you're putting out. It's so interesting to me that, and I'm not saying you're doing this, but just in general, content creators, we think, oh, I'm only at 1,000. It's like, no, that's a freaking 1,000 people who like you.
Right?
Like it's so awesome that we live in a time when you can be in your house, make content, and people around the world like want to connect with you.
Right? Who would think they would? Someone would want to see something I'm putting together.
A- And so, so actually staying on TikTok because it's interesting. So you started, you so that was in 2020 when you started on
Hmm.
TikTok. So yeah, 2020 TikTok is a little different than I guess we're almost in 2022 where you have a lot more people creating. You, not that it doesn't happen, but it's not as common where you put up your first TikTok video and you now all of a sudden you have 100 followers in 2 days.
Hmm.
So I'm curious, as a content creator, has because I think this would be useful for anyone who is creating content. Have you ever gotten down on yourself because of maybe not having as much growth as you had in the beginning?
Oh, all the time. Like being in the TikTok community and seeing all these different creators and everything, you'll see like just a video take off. It could be something random and it takes off, and you're like, I really put a lot of effort into this skit or this whatever, this art piece, and it didn't get any views. But then just somebody flips a card and that got like 10,000 views. You're like, what am I doing wrong? But you
Uh-huh.
got to just remember, you just got to keep pumping out content and just have fun with it. But yeah, I sometimes it's normal. You kind of beat yourself up about it, but you just have to keep being positive and keep pumping out content, and it happens. I'm gonna tell you something. So I work at like a used car dealership, right? So I made a video about how we clean vehicles and stuff and how to clean a headlight, and then it just went viral and it got like almost Jesus, I want to say like 3 million views, and I'm like, what?
Oh wow.
And I felt bad. I'm like, I put Pokemon content, I didn't get this many views, why did this views? So it was crazy. But yeah, so it could just happen on a random crazy video. So
Yeah, for sure. And it is so funny how TikTok works that way sometimes. Where I mean I have not had any video like that,
mhm.
but I think my most viewed video was like a 8 second, 10-second video of me opening up a box that had Power Ranger cards in it.
Oh my
And I'm
god.
like, why does this have so much like views? And why are there like 20,000 people commenting on this? Like, it's just funny how just the things that how we can put in a lot of effort into maybe a particular video, but maybe that doesn't get as much views or as much engagement as something that took us like 30 seconds to make.
Right, exactly. Exactly. I made a video about just my experience. I went to Comic Con, meeting one of the Power Rangers. I met Amy Jo Johnson. And it was just a horrible experience. And I think that video got like 15,000 views. And there was just so much of like the Power Ranger community came into that. I was like, what? This was really cool. And I just thought no one's going to see it because I'm on Pokemon TikToks, but
Uh-huh.
it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, it's just funny when that happens. I think though, it's something I've been pushing a lot lately, mostly because of how I'm seeing some people, I guess, react or maybe getting a little down on themselves, like you said,
Mhm.
when things don't go as fast as they want. But I think it's important to keep that that long term perspective. If you're going to be a content creator, and maybe someone just wants to do it for just for fun,
Mhm.
just for a few months, a year, just to kind of test it out. But if it's something that you're going to want to do for a little while, maybe turn into some kind of side gig in the future or something that might be full time, you got to keep that long term perspective
Mhm.
because, yeah, there are those, rare people who, become, famous in a year. But more often than not, just like in business, just like in anything, it's going to take some time to build.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I love how you said, you just got to keep that positive attitude, that positive outlook.
If you're not enjoying what you're doing, you're going to get tired of it super super quick, and you have to enjoy what you're doing, and don't think of it as like, oh, I got to do this so I could become the next, I don't know, whoever's famous like Logan Paul or whatever. Just do it because you want to have fun, and just do it because
Mhm.
you enjoy the hobby or whatever your platform is. If you're enjoying Power Rangers or Hot Wheels, whatever. Just do it because you enjoy the hobby and you want to have fun. And if it goes viral, then hey, that's just the cherry on top, you know.
Uh,
But yeah, you just have to be positive and just have fun with it.
100%. Because, I think, like you said, you have to enjoy it. Like, I think it would be kind of terrible if you did, become, let's say, the next Logan Paul or whoever, only to find yourself miserable because you actually don't enjoy what you're doing.
Exactly. It'd be
I,
horrible.
well, what's interesting in our family business, well, I'm not a doctor or therapist myself, but we work with doctors and therapists, and so I hear the stories of people who are millionaires. They have big businesses. They're doing well in their fields, but they're miserable.
Hmm.
And I think that happens more often than we realize. That I think sometimes we have this view of like, I'll be happy when this happens, like when I'm famous, when I have X amount of money, when I have X amount of followers. When I think people miss out on actually being happy now, because if you're happy now, then anything else that happens, the fame, the money, whatever, is just a cherry on top.
Yeah, exactly. You got to enjoy what you're doing, and if you're not enjoying it, then yeah. But yeah, be happy in the moment.
Sure. So I'm curious, what has been the most surprising thing for you creating on TikTok?
The most surprising thing for me coming into creating on TikTok is the community and all of the friendships that I made. I have
Mm.
better and stronger relationships with people that I met online that I do in my day to day. And it's just crazy. Everyone's really supportive. Everyone's just, so loving, so amazing. You get to hear all of these stories and just, you know, you make these relationships and watch their videos and watch them grow, and they grow with you as well. And then it's just awesome. It's definitely very surprising, and I'm very thankful for it. Yeah, it's really awesome. Just have to say all of the connections that I've made.
That's awesome. And so I'm curious though, because it's true, you can find very supportive people, through TikTok, Twitter.
Mhm,
It's funny because I think some of my best friends, I think now I've found on social media.
mhm.
But I'm curious because obviously that's not how everyone is on the internet. So how, like for you, what do you do to cope or handle when people come in and are not supportive? They're not positive. They're bringing those negative vibes. Maybe are trolling. Well, like what is it that you do?
So people would make fun of me like, "Oh, he's fat, he's this, whatever, blah blah blah." And the best thing I could say for, I guess, like being if you're bullied or whatever on there, is just to just block them, ignore them, and just move past it. But if it's constantly persisting and you're feeling the effects of it mentally, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to, you know, block people if you have to. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, there is toxic people in the community, just like in every community. Um, and you can be friendly, but you don't have to be on a daily basis and be best friends with that person just because their negativity and the toxicness is just gonna, so my advice is just to avoid those people and just to block them, to be honest with you. It's the easiest thing you could do, and just out of sight, out of mind. It
Mm,
avoids confrontation, everything else. But if it comes overwhelming, you can take a break. I take breaks usually every few months, for at least a few days, just to have some time with myself or my family, and just to kind of reset. And it's what helps me.
I love that. Yeah, I think that's very good to have that self awareness, that knowing when you need to take a break.
Yeah.
Because I'm all for hard work, but I think you also need to realize when you do need to take those breaks. When you need to just recharge, re-energize, take some time with family,
Hmm.
because everyone needs that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious because I'm remembering now. The first time I think I actually interacted with you on TikTok, and I don't know the full story, and I don't know if you want to get into it or not, but it was actually a video you put out, um, where I think you were contemplating. Maybe it was a time when you need to take a break, but it was you were contemplating, at least from the video, maybe just stopping making content.
Hmm.
I don't know if you recall that. This might have been like 8 months ago. I don't remember
Yeah.
how long ago that was.
Um, I remember. So at the time, it was just getting really overwhelming. At the time, I was doing a lot of resin art stuff. So with the resin art, I don't have any with me right now, but oh, actually, I do. So this is what the resin art was. So you'd get a card, put it in this little thing. You could put it on the wall. People would use them as coasters or whatever. And it doesn't really take that much time, but when you're making quite a few orders or whatever, um, it takes time out and whatever. So I would go ahead and make those, and I made a lot for some creators. I made a lot for my friends, um, and whatever. But at the time, when I did make them, I kind of got scammed and burned from these big creators, and I don't
Mm,
want to mention names, but there's big creators that did affect me, and I felt like mentally, like what's going on is, I felt like they kind of like took my worth away. I kind of just felt like, you know what I'm saying? Um, and then I would get people that was just like, well, this didn't arrive, whatever, and they had the tracking and said it got delivered. So all these things just kind of made me feel crappy, to be honest with you. And then just getting the trolls, getting all of these negative comments, and blocking the people, it does help. But sometimes it's just like, you know what, I need to take a break. I need to get away from this. So when I made that video, um, I think it was initially like just saying that I'm gonna possibly quit, and then I made a response video or whatever and saying that I just want to take a break. I think I took a break maybe for like a week or so, and yeah, I just had to reset, recharge, and I said I'm not gonna be doing it. I'm not gonna be selling them anymore, and maybe I might come back to make the resin art again. But for right now, I'm not going to do it. I did make another couple pieces for some really special friends for Christmas because they asked me about it, and I made it for them. But it's just something that I don't want to do full time anymore, just because it just kind of negatively affects me. To be honest with you,
mm.
I know
No,
it
I
sounds, but
no, and I love that because again, I think it's important to have again to be aware of what it is that is going to maybe be more mentally draining. It's
definitely.
actually reminds me. I actually a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, I started making a ton of Pokemon mystery boxes,
Hmm.
and we got, gosh, I think within like a 6 week period, we made and sold maybe like it was like 60 or 70, which I don't do sell anything like full time. I have several other things I'm doing, and so I was staying up for hours at night, packing everything up, making sure shipments went out, but it got exhausting, and so I just I had to stop because it was too much on my plate, and that's fine.
And if something feels like it's becoming a second job and you're not enjoying it anymore, then you don't need to persist with it. I just felt like I'm getting all this material, I'm taking my time, I'm packing these orders, going to the post office, spending all this money. And it's like at the end of the day, I'm not really making anything on this. And it was just mentally draining, to be honest with you. And I was just like, I don't want to go back into that. So, yeah,
Mhm.
and I completely feel you.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you had that self-awareness, you took that break, because it was soon after that I started seeing more of your content, and quite frankly, dude, I'm a big fan of your content.
Well, thank
Like,
you. And
there's so often where you make something and, like, I'm watching TikTok with my wife, and we both just laugh. So,
I
that's something
appreciate
I appreciate because, um, just all of us, we go through things, whether it's because of our job, just raising kids, life in general. It's good to have that kind of escapism, being able to laugh.
Yeah,
And so I appreciate that you have that positive vibe about you, and that you literally make me laugh like several times a week.
I appreciate it. And I definitely think that making content on TikTok kind of broke me out of my shell a little bit and
Mm,
into my comfort zone and finding like, myself through TikTok. So it's definitely a very awesome app, very awesome tool, and um, yeah, it's just been super amazing the whole journey of it.
yeah, that's awesome. That kind of reminds me. I had Manny Simone on the show a few weeks ago, and
Mm,
we talked about this a little bit. How he actually was pretty shy prior to making content.
mhm,
And I just point out that I think everyone, even if that's not like on your radar, it's not what you want to do, like should make content for maybe like 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, just because it does force you out of your shell. You learn new skills. Because I'm more naturally introverted. Like once you get
mhm.
me going, I can talk for hours. But I'm a little more naturally introverted. It's funny if you go back to my first video on YouTube. I seem so awkward. It is like I hate watching that video. But I think it's just something, if you again, if people want to be self-aware, but it's just another way to, I think, yeah, get you out of your shell, get you a little more comfortable with maybe talking with people, just gaining new skills, creating. I think it's a good way to maybe for like some personal development, if you will.
Right, exactly. And it's definitely helped me so much because I'm a very introverted, socially awkward person. So doing all these things and skits and stuff, it was just like it's really awesome. I feel that it really helped me a lot. So
That's awesome to hear. So I think you've kind of already answered this question, but I did want to
mhm,
straight up ask the question.
sure.
So do you, well, actually, you have already answered this question about burnout. So are there times when you do feel burnt out as a creator?
All the time. A lot. A lot. Sometimes you can so here's the thing. Um, like I was saying, like you can see some of the other creators and they post something as simple as like flipping a card and they get, 10,000 views or 100,000 views or something. And you kind of beat yourself up a little bit because is my content good enough? Am I doing this
Mm,
right thing or whatever? So you definitely feel burnout. Um, but then like recently what I've been doing was just kind of flipping the script a little bit. So I'm not just like one type of um, niche or whatever. So I try to implement Pokemon into everything that I do, but a little different. So I really love to paint or, different types of art mediums like the resin or whatever. I also paint like Funko Pops or whatever. And I just try to, showcase different things that I enjoy. So um, it could be as simple as a trending sound, and then trying to think how can you make that Pokemon related. Um, and it's kind of a challenge, but it's kind of nice to have that little bit of a challenge, just so you don't feel burnt out as much, I guess. So I mean, TikTok's constantly evolving, and you just gotta be on top of the game. There's been so many people that I met along this way that only lasted a few months, and their accounts have just been inactive since like February or November of last year or something. And I think that the pressure of trying to keep up with content and everything kind of just got to them, and they just got off of it. But if you want to pursue TikTok and everything, you just got to keep trying and just push out content. And if it does great, you do great. And if not, then it's just you just mark it up. It's you learn from that bad video, I guess.
mhm. Yeah, for sure. And there's something that you said that I want to point out that I know a lot of people are doing, and that is, comparing your content or your views or the amount of followers that you have to other creators.
Hmm.
I think, like you said, that can lead to a lot of mental burnout when you start saying, oh, this video that I poured my heart into only got 1,000 views when this person got 50 million views on this other video. It's easy to compare. And
Mhm.
when the thing is that when we compare, that always leads to feelings of insecurity, feeling like you're not good enough. And I think that it's good to notice that when you start comparing,
Mhm.
because when you do that, or when you start noticing that you are comparing, I think it's good to try and readjust your perspective. Just focusing on more just your content, not worrying about what other people are doing. Like, cheer for them, like cheer for what they're doing. Like that's fantastic. Someone else got 50 million views, or 1,000 views, or whatever. But if you're going to be a content creator, I think people need to realize you can't compare. It'll always lead to stress or
Mhm.
anxiety, or you just feeling you're not good enough.
No, and in a way, comparing yourself to other creators, it's kind of a blessing and a curse because you can say, oh, well, I'm not going to be good enough. I'm not going to whatever. But it also kind of pushes you to think outside the box and think outside of what's the normal or whatever to, take a sound, make it Pokemon related or do something different. Like, I really like doing the Stitch This video or whatever. So that way, you can see people's different reactions and on your take of an idea. So I did one recently and I said, show me how you store your Pokemon cards. And I got over 20 different stitches, and it was really cool because you get to see people had these massive cases. People had them in like a small little box. They had them in binders. One guy just had them raw, loose inside of a junk drawer. I was like, this is awesome. So, I mean, it's definitely really, really cool to see and think outside of the box. And yeah, my advice is just to keep pushing. It's okay to compare yourself to other creators, and you know, you can either learn from them and take their idea, make it your own. Not I'm not saying to go copy someone to the T or anything, but take
Mhm.
their idea, you know, turn things around a little bit and just make it your own. It's okay to do that. That's what TikTok is for. But yeah, just have fun with it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think you definitely, it's good and fine to learn from others and get inspiration from others. And just don't take it don't start looking at the numbers and start beating yourself up because one video got more views than your video. But for sure, yeah, definitely, it's fun. Actually, that's one of the fun things about TikTok and just content creation in general. When you watch other people's stuff and then having that aha moment of like, oh, what if I did that, but did this with it, and like with my vibes and my thoughts. That is one of the cool things about TikTok, and yeah, just being around other people's content. So we are going to wrap this up real soon. Just
Okay.
any Before we get into some rapid fire questions, any last, I guess, advice or thoughts for anyone who's either currently creating content or looking to create content?
My advice for anyone that's thinking about getting into creating on TikTok or someone that's maybe struggling with their content or any advice is get out there, make content, have fun with it. Don't, you know, uh, put in your mind, my life is going to depend on this. I'm going to be the next Logan Paul or something. Just have fun with it. People generally want to see you having fun, enjoying what you're doing. And, if you're having fun, they're having fun. That's the best advice that I could give. I tell this to all my friends, and just have fun. So what I do also, people are like, well, no, I don't have time. I don't have, time to make all these videos. I'm going to give you guys a little tip. I'm a dad. I work. My kids is all different ages. So what I do is this: about I take out like 20 minutes while I'm scrolling TikTok. I'll save some sounds, whatever. Try to record some stuff, put them in my draft. If I could record 2 or 3 videos in that 15 minutes, and they're only like 10-second clips of like audios or whatever, you could go and edit them later on, like the next day or whatever, and add what you need to add. And That's what I do. So I try to record maybe 2 or 3 drafts a night and just have them in my phone, and then you could pump them out through the week or whatever. So that's my advice. Just don't give up. Keep doing it, and people are genuinely want to see what you're up to. So just post stuff. That's what all I could say.
I love that, man. I especially love that just taking 15 minutes, 20 minutes, get some stuff, in a draft. Like it doesn't even have to be fully edited. I love that
Yeah,
because I think sometimes people they sit down, they say, okay, I need to make a TikTok right now, or I need to make a YouTube video right now, or whatever. When it's like, no, maybe just take that 15, 20 minutes, come up with the idea, start it. You don't have to finish it, but then just do it in increments at a time.
if all else fails, you could just use that one sound. That this is your card, if you would, and just take cards. What you'll get views. You'll
All right. Well, we're going to end with some rapid fire questions.
all right.
All right. Who is your favorite TikTok creator?
Ooh, I can't say because I'm gonna get in trouble, and then everyone's gonna be mad at me. So I'm not gonna say.
How about who is in your top? Name two people who are in your top 20.
Oh my God, that's you're gonna kill me now.
Okay, we'll skip that question.
Okay.
Favorite Pokemon?
I have two. I have Bulbasaur and Gengar. I
Which
can't
were
pick
on your
between them.
Christmas card. Thank you again, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome.
Favorite TV show as a kid?
TV show as a kid. Let me see. Are we talking like cartoon or just everything in general?
Everything in general.
I'd probably say, I don't know, probably Power Rangers or Bill Nye.
Two solid choices. Favorite show now, or at least one of your favorite shows now, currently.
Favorite show now? Oh man, that's really tough. It's really really tough. I'm just into a lot of things right now. Let's see. Hmm. I did really enjoy Game of Thrones. The last season was I couldn't handle it. It was bad. Shameless is pretty good. Let's see what else can I think of. Um, Man, I can't think right off the top of my head, man.
You're good. So, if you could spend a week anywhere, where would it be?
Definitely Japan.
Mm,
Definitely Japan. Like, I'd want to try to do everything, try to see everything, sightseeing, go into some temples. I want to stay inside of a tiny hotel capsule hotel. Go to this robot cafe. Definitely check out Pokemon Center. Yeah, definitely
awesome. What is your dream job?
dream job. Um, to be honest with you, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an archaeologist. Then when I got older, I always wanted to animate cartoons. So I don't know, probably something with animating.
Hmm, that'd be cool. And do you prefer hot cocoa or hot cider?
I never had hot cider, so I'd say hot cocoa. Have
Good
you had
choice.
hot cider?
I have had hot cider. I'll take hot cocoa any day of the week.
Okay.
If I
Um,
can just say that, having interacted with you, through DMs and now, and having seen your content, I can say that I think you have more of an impact on people than you realize, a more positive impact than you realize. One of the amazing things about me personally creating content for a few years now, I'm not anyone big, I'm not anyone well known by any means, but it still amazes me that me who has like no or a small following, which I hate using that term like small following, but if I can make an impact on someone, then I think other people can, and I know for a fact that at the very least, like I mentioned earlier, you've made an impact on my life because there are times when maybe it's been a rougher day and I see one of your videos and it makes me smile.
Oh man, I appreciate that.
All right. Well, I appreciate you being on the show, man. Thank you so much. Real quick, where can people find you on the social medias, on the interwebs?
Okay, so TikTok is James Arizona. It's all one word. Instagram is going to be underline James Arizona underline. I have a YouTube, but I hardly post on there. You can just search James Arizona on YouTube.
Sounds good. And everyone, go follow this man. You are not going to be disappointed. He has such a good positive vibe about him, good spirit about him. If you have not felt it already during these last 30 minutes, just such a good guy. Trust me, you're not going to regret following this guy.
Awesome. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.